Mike's Daily Podcast.
What? Cafe Hey Ma? Is that what this place is? Cafe anyways, where we are broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. It's Mike Matthews here with episode 1351-1351. Here we are at the beginning of the Memorial Day weekend, a 3-day weekend for many of you. Not for me. No, I'm going to be working all 3 days at my part-time job, which is turning more into a part-time mob.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Or a part-time blob or something to that effect. Today we hear from Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Do you remember that little thing they called memos? Way back when, that was something. That was when your best friend, your boss, no, he's not your best friend, but he would send you this memo piece of paper, and then you would read it sometimes later and go, oh, I was supposed to do that? Oh, okay.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Well, memos have changed, my friend, in this day of emails way back
Mike's
in the
Daily
late 90s that started
Podcast.
with people sending emails instead of sending memos. So if you were a boss and you wanted to give everyone a memo, you would get your letterhead. Okay, I got the letterhead. And then you would type it. Oh, crap, I messed up. Get my new letterhead. Type it again. Oh, I put too many W's. Oh, look who just walked in. Hello, Michael Matthews. It's Madame Rootabega. I'm sorry I interrupted your story. Oh, I was talking about memos. Oh, I hated those. Yeah. So then, once you finally typed it right, saying, to all concerned, please leave the back door closed. Like that door that just opened. That should have been locked. What the hell? And then you would go over to the copy machine, make copies. Oh, crap, ran out of paper. Oh, crap, the cartridge needs to be changed. Oh, crap. And then you would distribute it into the mailboxes, or maybe you would hand deliver. And that was a memo. Now we got an email. Hey, everybody, make sure that you do this right. Thanks. Send it out. It's done. Look who else walked in.
Hello, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
And here's today's podcast picture.
Guys, I have to interrupt you because we have the podcast picture today. It's of the wonderful Basil the Boxer as he was trying to cross Coal Canyon Creek. And now it's so raging, this Coal Canyon Creek, he can't cross it. No, it's very small now. All the big creeks that we had within a month have dwindled down to smaller, more manageable Podcastro Valley size. And this one here is in what used to be Coal Canyon Lake, and now it's like a Coal Canyon Park, which hasn't officially been opened yet. So you can still kind of have your dog off leash because there's no signs that say dogs have to be on leash. And there's no signs anywhere. Because there's no signs, and I did a podcast called Signs, where I was talking about how the Bay Area loves to put signs everywhere and have all these restrictions and rules, and it drives me nuts. So this area does not have any of that. So Basil, and I don't think anyone really knows about it, and I just podcasted about it, so still no one knows about it. And so Basil likes to walk around there, and there he is contemplating crossing the creek. And you can see that wonderful picture with some wildflowers blooming at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-1351-Memorandum. Anyway, the point being, any idiot can email now. It takes 2 seconds to email. We are so email, and at some point we'll be texting. We'll be doing the text will replace the memo. It's already replaced the memo. I get texts from the guy I produced the radio show for, and he'll just send me these weird texts that make no sense at all, like a couple words strung together. He didn't use autocorrect. I don't know what he's saying. What's the word? They're cryptic. And that is, I got a memo from my weekend job about something that I always do. I go out of my way. I take great pains to do this one thing. And so I get an email sent to me, but it's one of those emails sent to several people. So it doesn't accuse any one person. It's just sort of saying, hey, you all did this. Actually, it was just one of you. But I'm sending this to everyone because that's what you do in business. It's stupid. They should have sent the guy the email that wasn't doing it right, but whatever. Cafe, whatever. That is how things are. And then a guy I work with, he told me he got this weird email from someone in the company telling him to do something. And he was just perplexed because he's like, I did that. Why did you? And some people go through all the trouble of writing an email, or as I've said, it is not any trouble these days, but they'll do the email, and they instead of just doing the quick little thing themselves, but companies, businesses, memos, so annoying. I also, for my weekend job last weekend, about the time I decided I was going to stop doing Country Crossroads Radio, by the way. Gee, I wonder if these two things are connected. Anyway, I produce, when they give me a commercial to produce there, or what we call a promo, because it promotes something with the radio station. We have 3 radio stations, so I made the promo for 3 radio stations. But no, wait! There's 2 versions of the promo. One is this length and one is that length. Okay, I gotta do 2 versions. Okay, so now we're up to 6. Okay, now now you gotta do one for when this event is happening, and then when the event, it's the day of. Okay, that's 2 more versions. So as you see, it starts to multiply. So I do all these promos. Then I find out, oh wait, somebody didn't check something, and so they all have to be redone. And hey, this is a weekend job, and I was actually asked to come in during the week for my weekend job to correct a mistake that was not my fault. So I'm just complaining. But let us move to something else, and that would be Upspeak. I talked about Upspeak recently, and I was inspired. I was listening to a podcast and heard it's one of these podcasts that have a lot of experts chime in on a particular topic, and usually it's political, and usually has to do with Trump, and it usually has to do with something like Trump not saying that, not even acknowledging that there is an Article 5 at the NATO conference thingy, and ooh, oh, wow, how did he forget to do that? I didn't realize that was a thing, but it's a big thing, and then they talk about it for 45 minutes on this podcast. But one of the people, the political people that likes to comment a lot is Jennifer Bendry. She writes for the Huffington Post, and she has this Upspeak thing. So naturally, when I heard her on the podcast, I thought maybe she was in her young 20s, because that seems to be an Upspeak generation. As I just did, well, maybe it's not, because I just did an Upspeak right there. So that would be, maybe well, that's what I found out, is that Jennifer Bendry does not look to be in her early 20s. She seems a little bit older. So Jennifer Bendry does the Upspeak. I noticed she was on C-SPAN this morning, and she was doing her Upspeak. But she brought up a very interesting point, and that is this whole obstructionist politics, that's how she said it, is now, it has been gone for many years, especially when Obama took office. Yes, you remember when Obama got into office and Mitch McConnell said, we will block everything he tries to pass. Well, then the Affordable Care Act got passed with the help of the Democrats and the majority in the Senate and the House of Representatives. And then we fast forward to today, and all kinds of things are getting passed because Trump has got the majority on Capitol Hill, hill. But they can't, if you pull the Affordable Care Act now, you've got all these people have insurance, and so now you're hurting people, is basically what she was saying. So you're going to have people lose health care, and that's going to affect people's lives and maybe cost people's lives. So she brought up that very good point. Now, that was all I had to talk about. So check out the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And it has all the past shows, obviously, and links to all kinds of places you can listen to the show. Maybe you'll discover a new podcasting platform that you've never listened to podcasts through. You can also find the past podcast pictures that I have done. All of them so award-winning. No, none of them have won awards. But that you can see them and hear past interviews that I've done with some fantastic artists and musicians. So Amazon also has a little link at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through that link at my website, and you will help out the show. And there's a PayPal if you'd like to help us out that way. Thanks. And we are now going to go to the segment called A Fine Article.
A fine article.
You silly, great, fat article.
Well, speaking of the Republicans, a Republican businessman. Hey, where have we heard those two words together before? Greg Giannaforte. God, I've heard his name 500,000 times. Why can't I say his name? Anyway, Greg in Montana. He won Montana's Seoul House District in a special election Thursday. Gianna Ford. In a special election Thursday, keeping a seat in Republican hands despite facing assault charges. This happened just a day or two ago, for allegedly attacking a reporter who asked him about the GOP's health care bill. In his victory speech, Greg admitted to the attack and apologized for it. I shouldn't have treated that reporter that way, he told his supporters at the rally. The victory offered some relief for Republicans who have struggled to sell their Obamacare overhaul, which is called the American Health Care Act. But it was a closer call than the party had expected when it tapped the multimillionaire to run in a state President Trump carried by 20 points, and when Democrats nominated folk singer Rob Quist instead of an experienced politician. With 83% of the vote counted, Greg led Rob 51% to 44%. Some in the crowd laughed at the mention of the incident. I made a mistake, said Greg. Not in our minds, yelled a stupid supporter. What a moron. Now he's a supporter. Greg can't do any wrong to this supporter. So Chelsea Manning is going to speak to ABC News next month in her first television interview since being released from prison after being in prison for 7 years. The interview will be with ABC's Juju Chang and will air June on a special edition of Nightline. Portions of the interview will also air on Good Morning America, World News Tonight with David Muir, and I'm sure a myriad of other places ABC has. Heck, ABC, since it's owned by Disney might even stick it in a movie. Who knows? Chang will also talk with members of Manning's team who fought for her release. Chelsea Manning was released from prison earlier this month after serving 7 years for leaking hundreds of thousands of classified documents. She was convicted in 2013 for leaking this classified information related to the Afghanistan and Iraq wars, which was later published by WikiLeaks.
WikiLeaks! I love WikiLeaks!
Hey, maybe that's how Chelsea got out of prison, was because our president loves WikiLeaks. Chelsea was initially set for release in 2045, the longest sentence ever imposed for a leak conviction, but former President Obama commuted. Yes, it had nothing to do with Trump. President Obama commuted Manning's sentence days before Obama left office. Good job, Obama.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm going to move on now to the Atlantic Ocean and hurricanes. What? They're happening now? No, not yet. But the Atlantic Ocean could see another above-average hurricane season this year, with 11 to 17 big storms and as many as 9 hurricanes. Yikes. And my mom's in Florida. The expected absence of El Nino, an ocean warming trend that tends to reduce the likelihood of hurricanes, is a major reason for the expected rise in the number of storms. Other factors include above average sea surface temperature and weaker vertical wind shear across the tropical Atlantic Ocean and Caribbean Sea. An average season produces 12 named storms, of which 6 become hurricanes. So they're saying possibly 9. It runs from June 1st through November 30th, the hurricane season. 32 gorgeous WNBA players. What? Okay. Hey, Facebook CEO returned to Harvard Thursday. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg told graduates it's up to their generation to create a purpose for today's world and to care about others, to fight inequality and strengthen the global community. I just fell asleep. Oh my God, that probably was the most boring speech. No, Mike, it was really inspirational. It was just like that Steve Jobs speech. Change starts local, he said. Even global changes start small, with people like us. And this is my story too. A student in a dorm room connecting one community at a time and keeping it at it until one day we can connect the whole world and I can make money off of it.
One, 2, 3.
Get ready for it.
4, 5. 6.
7. Could the device you're using, smartphone versus PC, affect the moral decisions you make when you are using the device? This question asked by Engadget. The researchers hypothesized that smartphones focus user attention on a single task, while PCs allow for more outside information. They presented multiple dilemmas to a sample set of over 1,000 people and judged how they reacted based on whether the participant was using a smartphone or a PC. The participants were assigned a device at random. One example of the question participants were asked is the following. It's the trolley problem. A runaway trolley is headed towards 5 people tied up on a set of train tracks. You can do nothing, resulting in the deaths of 5 people, or you can push a man off a bridge, which will stop the trolley. Oh man, I can't figure that one out. What happens when you just can't figure it out and you're not on any device? The utilitarian rational response is to kill one man to save 5 lives, which 33.5% of smartphone users chose compared to 23.3% of PC users. In another variation on this question, which involved pulling a lever that would divert the trolley from the 5 people but would result in the death of 1 person, the results were closer. Alright, that was a great waste of money. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Who even comes up with these?
I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
Next show... I don't know if I'm going to do a show this weekend, if I will do a show Memorial Day or not. We'll see. At some point, next show, which may possibly be all the way on Tuesday, we will have the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. Enjoy your weekend. Don't push anyone in front of a trolley.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.